Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and we are very happy to have you. Have you ever wondered why, as Christians, we involved in politics? Or the better question is, the better statement is supposed to be, I'm going to give you a few reasons why Christians should not be involved in politics. Christians, as Christians, we should avoid politics. There are some reasons why. So I'm going to share a few things with you this evening, and I hope this will provoke some kind of thought so you can go further, do your further research on this, right? So, reason number one that Christian should not be involved in politics. And then we're going to, reason number one, Christians should not be involved in politics. Politics is very divisive, especially the American politics. Politics is very divisive. Okay. As Christian, our number one job is to unite, is to build on others, to elevate other people, not for our own personal gain. So politics in definition is is a way of fighting for personal gain. So because of that specific reason that politics is very divisive, I don't think Christians should be involved in that. And some of y'all, some people might be saying, might be coming with Daniel and David and all these different characters in the Bible. These people were not doing politics. They were God was showing his providence in the political world. It's different than say I choose politics as a way of organizing people, as a way of government. It's a big difference, right? It's a big difference. Then again, well, let me take the time to really say each and every one of you, and also to say thank you for your continuing, you know, faithfulness. My name is Pastor Lexi Branny, and we are we come every now, every time, every night, every time, every chance that we get, we come on here just to talk about something. So this evening, it is my desire to bring to you as the reason why you should stay away from politics. And politics should not be anywhere close to the church. It's because of the nature of politics. It's not because it's not to say we cannot bring our own version of politics to, not to human focus, to the more divine nature. Could be a better way to, if you want to get involved in politics, but to be to just be a part of the American politics, that thing is too divisive. The American politics is so divisive. You have to be careful if you were to discuss politics with your friends and your family. It can divide you. Okay, politics is so it has the divisive nature, especially for the American politics. If you've been paying attention today to the American politics, to the headlines, you can see there's a ongoing, there's a uprising hatred going on between the political parties. It's almost like if you are the Democrats, you are the enemy, the Republicans are your enemy. We can't we can't come together for the common cause of, the common denominator. So it's becoming so divisive. I don't think as Christians we can be effective. I don't think we can be effective in relying on politics for government as a way of moving forward the work of God. So number one reason why we should stay away, we should avoid politics is because it's divisive. God is a God of order. God is about unity, right? God is not about division. We cannot use a device that's going to bring about division. You cannot afford to use a device that's going to divide the people. In politics, it's going to do that. It's the way of politics today. So I would want to caution you today, if you want to use a system, a device for government to bring people together, you may not want to use politics. God's government is already, there's a design in place already. We don't need to replace it with politics. We can just use it as it is. The Bible has all the guidelines. So the first reason why Christians should not be involved in politics, it is divisive. It has the tendency to divide people. Okay? Especially the American politics. So the second reason why Christians should not be involved in politics. Before I give you the second reason, again, if you have not yet registered with this channel, if this is your first time connecting with this channel, si c'est pour la première fois que vous connectez avec nous, if this is your first time, si c'est pour la première fois vous venez sur channel ça, que vous capable prendre un petit temps pour capable you can scan this QR code and it will take you to our YouTube channel where you can register so you will not miss anything that we are doing or saying on here. You will get notified, therefore you won't miss anything. So all you need to do, just use your phone and scan this QR code and it will take you directly to where you need to be, where you can subscribe. Thank you very much. And also, you know how it is today. If you so desire to, to like and to comment, we always appreciate the comments that you have to share. We truly appreciate your comments. So just keep them coming. We would really, really appreciate them. Okay? Just keep them coming. We would really, really, really appreciate them. Okay, then again, the second reason why we should stay away from politics, right? The second reason we should stay away from politics is it is personal. Many of us don't realize, many of us may not realize sometimes we don't realize how personal politics can be. Politics, certain decision that's been made, in politics today, it's to somebody, it's life. It's very personal, right? So certain group, they really rely on these on what the politicians is going to come up with, because this is the life depends on it. So I think Christians, we don't want to get involved too much in personal stuff. I mean, personal is always going to be a subject. It's going to be subject to your self, who we are, and we want God to be in control of our lives. Politics is very personal. It's a personal thing. We may not realize, because if you're part of a political party, you may be offending, you may become offensive to a brother and a sister. And the sister, it's as we mentioned, the brother and the sister we feel some kind of way towards you, and then that will bring about some kind of division. So I don't think politics is a model that Christians should be involved in. And I'm saying this to say I'm saying this because I have seen and I've experienced some of the division and some of the how people take these things so personal, and it causes politics so personal, and it causes a lot of problem even in the church. Like some people, they take the ministry very personal, like although it's a personal thing, but it's a calling, it's not your thing. Ministry is not a personal thing, it's something that really God, you're doing for God, for the kingdom of God. It's not personal. Some might think, oh, God's thing is personal, so therefore politics will put you in a position because it's so personal, and it can interfere with the things of God. So politics has so many different things, that so many different ways it can interfere with the things of God. I think that's why we should stay away from it as Christians. We should stay away from it, especially the American politics, because the politicians, they will go so far to prove you wrong just so they can get their way, just so they can get what makes sense to them. We don't want to be like that. Christians, we can't afford to be like that. We cannot afford to make somebody look ugly just so we can look clean, right? We cannot afford to make somebody look wrong so we can look right. And this is what we get in politics. And oftentimes the person who's making the other person look bad, it's a personal thing. For example, you would see, it depends on the slogan of the politician, right? The politician could be, oh man, I care so much about this country, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. It's a personal thing, right? I'm gonna do whatever it takes, even it means crushing the next person. I've seen so many things, in politics today that it's been too personal. And it's because it's so personal, I think that can take away the focus from God. So as Christians, we need to be very careful on that. We don't need politics to run the church. We don't need the politics to run, to the ambassadorship of God. We don't need politics to be good representative of God. We don't need politics to be like Daniel. We think it's a lot of us today. We think, we can be like Daniel and on this and this in today's political world. It's not the same. Oftentimes we think Daniel and David and all of them, they were politicians. No, they were not politicians. They were politics would mean that you're doing your personal thing. And some people think politics is life. Well, life is defined as given from God. It's not necessarily about you. It's really about God. So you will live for God. So really, we can say politics is life. It's a human transaction, but we know as Christian we are to die of self and let God, we give us with new birth. So then again, I think the personal aspect of politics kind of take away the power. We call it the power usurpation. It usurps the power from God and give it to a human being. Very quickly, I think another reason I want to explore this evening is the uncertainty, the unknown facts, the unknown character of the politicians. Politicians tend to be very audacious. Politicians would lie. And as Christians, we can't lie. Politicians would not come clean. Politicians would not admit, mistakes. Well, they would admit a mistake if it's not going to cause them too much of a political stand. If it's gonna cause them too much, they're probably gonna avoid it, right? So we ought to tell the truth and the whole truth, however it is, even if it does include, even if it works against us, we have to tell the truth. So I don't think really politics in the way that it's been, we've been too much embracing politics. I have political discussions, but I'm not a politician. I don't use politics to run my spiritual journey, to run my representation of Christ. I don't use politics. I think if I was to use politics, it would be uncomfortable for me, you know. But I don't think politics is a good thing, is a good tool for Christian to use or to be involved in. We don't. Some of you might be talking about, some of you will be talking about it's okay to be political, get involved, and we don't really understand what politics is. I don't know if you've ever really get at the peak of the understanding of politics. I have been in position in the presence of politicians and get involved with serious politicians. I'm telling you, it's bad. There's a lot of pretense. You have to pretend. You say one thing here, another thing there, and when two politicians are face to face, they would say what their other person wants to hear. It's just too much. It's just too much. I think the politics is of the devil. I think politics is a humanistic ideology, humanistic transaction. It's a humanistic way of doing things. And I think the way of God, the humbling of ourselves, let God let go and let God. That's what I really believe. And let God be the leader, the orchestrator of things. That's what I truly believe in. So therefore, I don't think politics is really a good thing for Christians to use. Then again, my friends, I just wanted to come by very quickly to let you know there are a few things I want to share with you as to the reasons why politics is not for Christians. Christians should avoid that thing, especially the American politics. It's really polarizing, it's divisive, and that thing is too personal. Nowadays, you better know how you talk. Nowadays, you better think. You better know what you're saying, who you're talking against. It's becoming so personal. The American politics becomes so personal to the point it's threatening. It's very threatening. So we don't want that. This is not the way that we want to live. We don't want to live in a way that we cannot say certain things, we cannot speak. So if you get too much involved in politics, I've seen, people try to use politics to run the church. It's ugly. It's really ugly, right? It's ugly, right? Well, if some of y'all, I'm open to give me any understanding of how politics can be used, by Christians in the church or being involved in politics. If you give me, I'm open to reasons as to why. I'm open to learning. It's no problem. But I don't think Christians should avoid politics altogether. Well, it was great to have you all, and thank you so much for your time. I look forward to see you in the morning for our regular presentations, uplifting in a word from the Lord. Again, my name is Pastor Lexius Rennie, and it's always a pleasure to come on here and to share something with you. Remember, there are reasons, I give you reasons why Christians should avoid politics. It's personal, it's divisive, it's too polarized. The polarization of politics, we should stay away from that. It's just crazy. Have a wonderful night and look forward to see you in the morning. May God bless you. Bye-bye.